Thank you for tuning in to Starting Small. Today, I'm joined by Dr. Jonathan B. Levine of GLO Science and JBL New York City. Doc, thanks so much for taking the time to do this.
Oh, great to be here with you, Cam. Looking forward to seeing you real soon.
Amazing. So to the listeners out there, we had Dr. Levine on the podcast about a year ago this time. And I've actually I had the honor to work with Dr. Levine for about the past year and 4 months now. And the family of brands, it's been an amazing honor to be able to work with Dr. Levine, his two sons, Cody, and the overall Twice Toothpaste and his practice, JBL New York City. Dr. Levine, I'm curious, over the past year since our interview, what does your life kind of look like with both the practice, your personal brand, internally, we know about the book, if you're willing to share kind of the scope of your past year?
Yeah, for sure. I would say, this past year, and thanks for that, Cam, and, we love having you as part of our family of brands, we call it. We're a family of brands that's a family, right? Mm-hmm. The boys have Twice. We have our foundation together, GLO Good Foundation. And we have the GLO Science Company we started 10 years ago. So it's a bit of a family of serial entrepreneurs at this point, dedicated and committed for people to really be healthy from a wellness standpoint, and the importance of where the mouth comes in, what we put in our mouth, what we eat, how we think about the microbiology, and in fact, the microbiome of the mouth, like we think about the gut. That's one reason why I'm writing this book, which is going to be out in the fall. Very excited to have Jay Boylston as my publisher. And it's really to kind of shake it up a little bit. That's why we're calling it Get Oral. But it's really a way to optimize your oral health, which has this huge impact on your overall health. So this year has been a lot of executing on kind of the thinking and the strategies that came together from COVID. COVID was very interesting. It was such a difficult time of all of our lives, and so many people struggled. But we did have an opportunity, many of us, where our families came together. And because of that, we had a time to really think about what's most important for us, kind of purpose, and what do I want to be doing in my life. And for me, having 3 months off, because I had to have a very filled plate between academics and the company and my clinical practice that I love so much, mm-hmm. that I've been doing for 3 decades. I was able, I think, to kind of equilibrate, if I can call it that, all the things that I was doing, taking some things off the plate and putting some things on. So this year was really the executing now on the strategies. And one was really focusing on the practice, bringing the new technologies that I work with. I have about 8 companies that I work with as an advisor, and helping them figure out how do we put that into our own dental practice, but also to help them scale and to build into other practices. So, for me, it's really, after 3 decades, hitting all of the cylinders of being an entrepreneur, of planning our next mission with Lenny Kravitz in Eleuthera, working with my team in the practice. We have about 27 people, multi-specialty practice called JBL New York City, focused on aesthetics and overall health. It's very much a kind of a functional medicine approach to dentistry. So there's a lot of interesting things we're able to do there. And so the culture of all of the companies that everybody starts, and especially all these things that we're trying to do, is the most important thing. How do we energize people? How do we fill them up? How do we inspire them? Definitely. And that's something that I love talking about, and I've learned. One of the concepts is called servant leadership, which was brought out by Robert Greenleaf over 20 years ago, and is becoming a very important part of organizational cultural thinking of how do we create an amazing workplace for our people, and really focusing on our people, not just our customers, but really our people, because our people is going to drive our qualities of our conversation. The quality of our conversation really helps deliver the culture, and we get this alignment, right, of where we're going, why we're doing what we're doing, and in fact, what's our operating system, what's our core values. So vision, purpose, values, those 3 pieces, when clearly defined in an organization, helps build this great culture. So really spent a lot of time with my team, putting some new people on and developing them, and really you can see by the results, our practice has grown beautifully. We've added some new wonderful specialists. And it's kind of the core of where all the innovation comes from. I mean, at this point,
Yep.
we have almost 30 patents, but it all comes out of the practice and getting the feedback from our amazing patients, whether it's a device, whether it's a delivery system that we put formulation in for health of the mouth, or in fact, even whitening teeth. We're able to figure these things out.
Definitely. That's amazing. So to share why we're doing Starting Small Summit, I've had, as a student myself, young aspiring entrepreneur, I've had an amazing time. Every single week, I'm learning from so many amazing entrepreneurs, educating myself and sharing that with my audience. With that experience, we wanted to take this live. And why I chose yourself, we have Joe Foster covering the apparel side, Stacy Madison covering food and beverage, and then we have you as the healthcare expert. So I'm truly honored to have you on the panel, and I'm curious to the listeners out there as well. What fundamental business practice do you think ultimately shaped your career that you look to provide at the summit as well? You mentioned culture. I know innovation is at the forefront. What would you say shaped your career, fundamental business practice?
I think anybody who has come up with an idea and they've built, okay, here's my idea, here's my critical thinking about this idea, and you want to go test this idea. Once you test an idea, it starts moving into a phase where you say, well, how do I bring this to the marketplace? How do I commercialize it? And there's a number of roads that you can go down as a young entrepreneur, right? We can license what we did and we can build something. We can look to patent it and create some protection. We could then build a company and start it and do a startup. We could even take it and it could be part of a larger company, because we got it to a point where you've kind of proved some concept there. So there's multiple choices. How do you make that decision? That's the big question. And it's very important for young entrepreneurs, especially because you haven't been through company 1, 2, 3. I've been through 3 companies already. I've made every mistake possible. That's just the way it is. But if you don't take risks, you don't make mistakes. So what you learn is you embrace your mistakes. We love making mistakes, but you got to make them fast and you got to learn. And then take those learnings and move it forward. So to make that decision of which choice you have to take, you really want to surround yourself with great mentors, great experts who've done it before. And I think that's the power of what you're doing. You're bringing people together and you're putting them in front of young people who are thinking about, I have a good idea, or I want to do this, because everything is possible, right? Everything's possible. But how do I kind of get to those next steps that are so important? It's surrounding yourself with a great mentor group, great expert who can help take you up to that next level, help you make those smart decisions.
Definitely. That's great. To wrap this up here, I actually spoke with Cody, which is Dr. Levine's son, and Twice Toothpaste is actually willing to give each one of our attendees a tube of Twice to try out, which Dr. Levine actually formulated. I'm curious, Doc, just a kind of a side note, what kind of ingredients did you look for as a formulator to build this toothpaste that listeners should look for, that has the benefits of whitening, preventative cavities, etc.? What type of ingredients did you look for in that?
Yeah. Toothpaste is interesting because we know about toothpaste, and we have these large multinational companies that have built toothpaste brands, amazing companies over 50, 70 years. But it's interesting because you can disrupt all the industries. And there are ingredients that are in some of these other products that don't need to be in the products. In other words, sodium lauryl sulfate is replaced by a coconut palmitate product. A sodium saccharin could be replaced by a better sugar substitute that doesn't have any of the side effects, like xylitol. So we can put ingredients in that speak more to the soft tissue health, like important vitamins and antioxidants that fight oxidative stresses. And that's why vitamin C and a number of these antioxidants are in the toothpaste. None of these harmful ingredients that can cause either allergies or problems down the line are not. So in thinking about formulations, it's really understanding the marketplace and understanding what are the ingredients we can have, because we know about brushing teeth. You have to do it twice a day. And you can also have ingredients that help take stain off the teeth. So when you drink red wine, coffee, tea, you can have a very low abrasive that keeps the tooth still very smooth, but takes off any of these newsstands. And that's what the Twice toothpaste has.
Mm.
So we like to say Twice toothpaste, of course, I'm 100% biased, is the greatest toothpaste in the world.
Yeah.
Of course, everybody's got to go to Target and check it out. It's yellow boxes and it stands out like a sore thumb amongst these other great companies.
Yep.
And we have our fingers crossed about what we're thinking about to disrupt and change the ingredients and how we think about toothpaste. What both Julian and Cody have focused on is not really of how do we solve something reactive, like I have inflammation, how do I solve it? How do we get there earlier to understand the causes and create more of a wellness approach? And that's why they call themselves the oral wellness company. And that has been their thinking. And we've been able to work together on that.
It's phenomenal. To the listeners out there, as Dr. Levine mentioned, make sure to look at Target, the yellow boxes, Twice Evolve. They cover this whole oral wellness spectrum. They have actually a rinse coming out, a floss, a whitening pen. So it really is the entire evolution of the oral process when you wake up, that routine. So make sure to check out Twice, a full new rebrand. Highly recommend. And then Dr. Levine, thank you again so much. It really means a lot. Cannot wait to see you soon.
Great to see you, Cam.